Hello ladies and gents, Lee here with another video. Just going to chew the fat off Sunderland's defeat away to Plymouth on Saturday. Sunderland dropped a 2-0 defeat at home park thanks to goals from Morgan Whittaker and Azaz, can't remember his first name for the life of us. It was your typical Sunderland away performance really. Started off very brightly, creating a few half chances. 09 had one, Rooston had one which maybe he could have took a little bit quicker. And I'm sure Patrick Roberts had one from a Jack Clark cutback. Then about halfway through the first half, Sunderland got done by Morgan Whittaker, screamer. You know what you can do about the finish. It's a great finish from a long distance out, but leading up to the goal, I saw Sunderland were very, very poor. Got played through far too easily, far too easily. Midfield's practically non-existent. You've got Dan Neil on your right hand side trying to cover free space. You've got Pierre on the left hand side and Job's just nowhere to be seen. We get played through far too easily. Then when the ball eventually goes to Morgan Whittaker, Pierre leaves his station to cover the runner, which gives Whittaker the space to come inside Niall Huggins. And Danny Collins said on the commentary that Dan Ballard thinks he's got the goal covered. But if you're going to allow someone to have a shot from range, there's a highly likely 50-50 chance it's going to go in. If you're allowing anyone to have a shot in any area of the pitch, there's a 50-50 chance it's going to go in, unless you're shooting from a yard out in the middle of the box with no one around you. I think Ballard should really come out and cover the ball, if I'm being particularly honest, because Ekwar's already in that position where he can cover it if the ball goes in behind him, and it makes Whittaker's life a lot harder. If he wants to get a shot away, he's got to go around Ballard or pass it on, which eliminates the shot altogether. But credit to Whittaker himself. I said in the preview video how good of a player he is, and it's a screamer. And there's nothing Patterson could do about it. It just flies past him. But I feel like leading up to the goal, it could have been dealt with a lot better by Sunderland. Again, the play started to die down a little bit. Like just more or less around the end, in the middle of the pitch. To be honest, there was nothing really out wide or any attacks shown until Plymouth got the second goal. Trey Humes a mile out of position trying to win a header on the halfway line, which I don't understand why. And again, the midfield's just non-existent. The midfielder doesn't pick up the second ball, and it's a defence splitting pass by Kundal that lets Azaz in on the left-hand side channel where Trey Humes should be. And 09 just dives in. You should stand him up, don't let him have the shot way, but for the pace he's gone in at Azaz, he's just done his job for him, because all he's got to do is drop the shoulder cut in the inside. And to be fair, again, it's a really good finish. But again, Sunderland really the masters of their own downfall on that one. After that, there's a couple of half chances either way. Job hit the post at the end of the first half. The closest Sunderland came to scoring in the second half was when Trey Hume hit the post. While watching the game, I thought it was in, but it's as unlucky as come back off the post. There's a couple of half chances here and there. O'Shea's volleyed wide. Jack Clark's had a save. There's forced Michael Cooper into a save. And the same with Ballard as well towards the end, but Sunderland didn't really offer anything other than the first 15 minutes of the game. The closest, actually, when I was watching the game, I think the closest I actually came to scoring was Plymouth when they hit us on the counter twice. Ballymun were putting a one wide, and I think it was the sub centre forward, Drew Patterson, that was saved. But as I've said for the last three or four away games, it's just one of them days where nothing's gone in for Sunderland. But the more worrying thing is, it's becoming frequent that one of them days is happening a lot, which we'll get onto later on. Pointed out 3 negatives off the game. One of them was Pierre Aqua. I didn't think he would play particularly well against Birmingham before the international break, and he certainly didn't play very well here, getting hooked off at half time, and rightfully so. You look naive and slow. I don't know if it's because he's had a good run of form before he got injured, but he looks very, very overconfident, and he's trying to do like arrogant things on the pitch. Like there was a chance in the first half where like the ball's gone up in the air and he's 6 foot plus, and he could go and win the header, win the flick on. Someone else pick up the second ball, and he's like stood off, try to bring the ball down when there's a Plymouth player in front of him, and it's never going to happen. I don't know if that's because, I don't want to come across this the wrong way, being a midfielder from France, naturally they come across as a little bit arrogant on the pitch. And I'm not trying to say Pierre Aguiar is becoming arrogant, but it's very, very worrying that especially that's 2 performances that he's put in that I thought he's trying to slow the game down to his pace. And I know we try to encourage the kids to play well and play their natural game, but it's really starting to cause us trouble at the moment. And I think Tony Mowbray needs to have a word with him. Either take him out the team for a few weeks, which I think would be the right thing to do, especially when you've got players like Adel Al-Sheikh who will come on later on knocking on his door. And especially when you've got like Dan Neil who can play as a 6, and you've got Alex Pritchard sitting on the bench. And see, but maybe he's a spell out the team might do him the world of good and give him a little bit of reality check to say, like, look, kid, like, settle yourself down, get back to what you were doing best, which was winning the ball, being hard in your tackles, playing your passes like you should do, because his pass retention's been pathetic the last 2 games. And another negative, which is like a massive negative for me, is Bradley Dack. I do not know what he offers. I do not know what he offers. He's, to me, and this may come across as hurtful, but he's just a big fat lad that runs on the pitch. Sorry, a small fat lad that runs on the pitch. And you might as well put me on. He offers nothing. I think he only touched the ball twice when he came off the bench on Saturday. And he's not fit. Not fit at all. And what pissed me off the most is that you've got Hemi on the bench when you could change the system to go at 2 up front when we're looking for a goal or 2. Or you got Pritchard on the bench, who I agree with. Don't know who said it on the What the For podcast, but Alex Pritchard is a better player than Bradley Dack. But I don't understand why Alex Pritchard's sitting on the bench and not getting on when Bradley Dack spent 80% of the international break on holiday with Olivia Atwood. It's like, it doesn't bother, it boggles my mind. But I've said this previously, and I know a few people agree with us. If Tony Mowbray hadn't previously managed Bradley Dack at Blackburn, Bradley Dack would be nowhere near a Sunderland. He would be nowhere near Sunderland. To me personally, he just looks more suited to being Olivia Atwood's arm piece in the Championship number 10. Every time he's played, he's just offered an out. And the only good thing he done was play a 2-yard pass to Job for his goal and score 2-yard tapping against Southampton. When, no offence, anything went in against Southampton. Not just that. The subs word as well again. I complained about his subs against Swansea. That was very like for like, and it's starting to become a common trend throughout the whole 90% of the fan base, is that he's not changing anything when he's making subs. I thought Rusin was very hard done by when he got took off at half time. People might disagree. If you do, please put in the comments. When we looked lively, Rusin looked lively. Like, he was runs in behind, he's splitting defences, he was dropping deep. But when Sunderland died off, he died off. Sorry, that happens with your centre forwards. When your team dies off, you die off. And you see, you only had that half chance at the back post from the header. And I know he could have controlled that Jack Clark cross better for Luke O'Nien's shot, but I thought he was hard done by. And really, that's when you should change the system and go to 2 up front, especially when you originally plan A isn't working. But again, we'll get onto that like the next segment. I can't remember Abdullah Bar touching the ball. I know Patrick Roberts wasn't at his natural best, and he hasn't been for a while, but Bar was a waste. Didn't touch the ball. I can't remember him touching the ball. Didn't make sense in bringing him on, and it still doesn't make sense now. As I said, there's just no plan B for Sunderland at the minute, especially when playing away from home. It's working perfectly fine at home, but when we go away from home, it's just not working. Not working at all. Change the system. I'm saying change it up, change the system, go to a front, play 3-5-2, play 3 centre-backs. Play 3 centre-backs, play 2 strikers. Because when you're playing 2 strikers, it just doesn't open up the possibility of obviously having 2 strikers on the pitch. It's the obvious thing. But when you're playing with 1, the 2 centre-backs can cover the 1 centre-forward. But when you put 2 centre-forwards on there, it literally makes the centre-backs go man for man. So it keeps the centre-backs on the toes and it keeps the opposition team on the toes. But he's just going like for like, especially when we're chasing and looking for goals. He's just going like for like, and it's changing nothing. It's just more or less the same, which is why the last 2 away games have fiddled out to a point when it really arguably, like, no disrespect to Plymouth, we should be beating Plymouth. We should be beating Plymouth. And for a long periods of the game, you can see why they've conceded a lot of goals, because they let us have half chances and let us back into the game a little bit. So we just weren't clinical enough to take them chances, which is a worrying sign. I've said previously that my ender and Russon will end up scoring goals, and I stand by that. I still think they will score. There's been a lot of questions asked, will they score a goal before Christmas, and I generally think they will. But we'll have to wait and see. Look, Huddersfield on Wednesday night, the last time a Sunderland striker scored was against Huddersfield at the Stadium Light in a midweek game. I'm not trying to say it's a coincidence or one thing, but that's one. It could possibly happen. It could possibly happen. It could possibly change the style of play when we play away from home. You need to think on your toes and adapt your surroundings. Like Blackburn away, we sat back and hit them on the counter attack and ended up winning the game 3-1. So why don't we just do that and let team because we've got a lot of pace in the break. So why don't we just let teams come onto us, then move forward? I just don't understand. It just doesn't make sense to me why I just keep doing the same thing. It's like, as the old saying is, the definition of insanity is trying the same thing over and over again, expecting the same results. So you just need to, you expect a manager of Tony Mowbray's experience to change his style, adapt to the games that he's playing in. I get it. By all means, we want to play the football the way we play, but sometimes you can't. And sometimes you've got to think differently. You've got to think on your toes. Our away form at the present moment in time is very, very alarming. We've played 9 games away from home this season. Won 3, drew 2 and lost 4. And we haven't won away from home since September the 29th. That's 2 months since an away win. And that's very, very alarming. Last season it was total opposite. We'd smash teams away from home and struggle at the Stadium of Light, but it seems like it's been switched on its head. I think something needs to change when it comes to playing away from home, and we need to think of a style of football to play away from home so it benefits the team that we've got, keeping the philosophy that we've got, but turning these goalless performances into goals, into wins. Because if you want to be up there at the top end of the table come the end of the season, we need to have a plan B away from home. Because especially if plan A isn't working, you need to have a plan B. But look, I'm not Sunderland manager. That's on Tony Mowbray and his coaching staff. And I'm not trying to say he should be sacked. But if he doesn't figure that out quickly, and these September 29th away, because obviously it's November now, if that turns into January, February, and he still hasn't won a game away from home, I think alarm bells will start ringing. The fan base will start getting on his back. 2 totally different scenarios. When I was on about the comments with one of them days, that's coming more frequent. The same thing got said when we were in League One and the League Johns. Now it's totally 2 different scenarios. I understand that, and people will say that, and people will pull us for it. But when we got beat 5-0 off Rotherham away in League One, we got told it was one of them days because they were more physical than us. Then that turned into the Sheffield Wednesday game, then the Portsmouth game away from home, then Bolton the game away from home. Nothing changed because he didn't have a plan B away from home. And I'm touch wood, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen with us. But something needs to change. But I don't have the answers. I'm the Sunderland manager. To end the video on a positive, I thought Adi Al-Sheesh was very, very good when he came on yesterday. Probably the only positive in the game. Yeah, he has to start Wednesday. Has to start. You look at Job. If Tony Mowbray said that Job was lightning and fast and fresh and training on Monday to Friday, I don't know what Job turned up on Saturday. Because after 20 minutes, he looked shattered. Absolutely shattered. And he needs a rest, the poor kid. It's becoming Callum Doyle Mark II. It is becoming Callum Doyle Mark II. The lad's going to get burnt out. So Wednesday is the perfect opportunity to change that. Bring in Adil Al-Sheesh. Give him his first start. He's a good player. It's not like you're bringing in a duck egg to replace him. He's a very, very good player. And you've seen when he came on yesterday, he wanted to make things happen. He tried to make things happen. He was very unlucky not to score from the volley edge of the box. A better touch from my ender, he probably would have been getting himself an assist. And look, I'm probably sitting here talking about a 2-2 draw if them things go either side and go right for us, but it didn't. But I think he could create something and give Tony Mowbray something to think about if he starts on Wednesday. Anyways, hope you've enjoyed the video. Again, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for everyone who watched the preview video. I totally appreciate it. Hopefully we get back to winning ways on Wednesday. There will be a preview video coming out before Wednesday night's game against Huddersfield. Hopefully getting it out Tuesday. See you all next week. How are the lads?